Horses in the morning.
It's pretty.
Oh my God.
You are listening to the number one horse podcast in the world. Here is your entertaining look at the horse world and the people in it.
That guy doesn't sound like my husband.
I don't know what's happening, but I play all these songs through iTunes, and for some reason it's sped up. But most people listen this way. All these people listen at a time and a half. I can't do that with a podcast.
They have no idea what was just said. Those horses were flying across the speaker.
Everybody's now checking their settings. I am Glenn the Geek from Ocala, Florida.
And I'm Jamie Jennings in Norman, Oklahoma. You're listening to Horses in the Morning on the Horse Radio Network for Wednesday, February 14th, episode 3365.
Let's see.
Happy Valentine's Day, Horse World. Can't believe you made me say that.
I know. It's your favorite holiday. I'm going to see how this one plays. You think it's going to play fast?
It's going to go fast. Ready?
Wednesday, the day we cover Glenn's favorite topic, horse health. And Jamie makes you feel better about yourself with the latest weird news from around the world. Happy Wednesday.
Let's go. How do you people listen that way?
Why is it doing that?
I don't know. I can't figure it out, but it looks like we're going to have a whole day of it, actually, because I don't know what to do. So,
oh my gosh, I wonder if the weird news sound effects are going to play sped up.
It probably will. It appears everything is. So you have that to look forward to, everybody.
Awesome.
We have Dr. Kristi joining us. She's back to talk about common emergency calls and how to prevent them.
Love it.
Alex is giving us an update on the mynewhorse.com project, and we have some mighty weird news. And then in the post show, Jamie has something special planned for the post show.
I have a new outlook on life, Glenn.
Okay. I'm not sure it's positive, but
I'm going to share with you my new outlook on life.
Speaking of outlooks on life, I found an article, the 37 best Valentine's Day date ideas, and I read it and went, oh, no horse people doing any of those.
Really?
This is not a horse person thing. This was in like Vogue or Vanity Fair or one of those.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. So you want to hear some of them, and we'll see if we're ever going to do these. It doesn't even have to be Valentine's Day. How about a date night cooking class? Yeah. That ain't happening for 99% of the horse women or men out there.
Well, I cook in our house, but there's no way my husband would want to participate in anything like that.
No, I don't think that's
he
happening.
Cleans. I'll take a cooking class and he'll take a cleaning class because that's how this whole relationship works.
He may take a cooking class if it involved it was on an airplane, or something, but that's the only way. How about a paint and sip event? Did you ever do one of those?
I have done it, but not with him. I've done it with girlfriends.
I can't see myself doing that either. I have no.
I still have a giant elephant painting in my kitchen.
Did it look like you were sipping at the time?
It definitely looks like. I call it my Picasso of elephants.
A luxurious couples massage. Now, I do know there were some of our group on the cruise who did that on the cruise. Couples massages.
Again, husband's not going to do a massage. I will, though.
No, I will, too. Jennifer doesn't like people touching her, strange people. That's not happening.
Oh, my God. You could do it with your work wife.
Yeah, there we go. We'll go together.
What I would do is I would get my massage, and then I would take his next.
The next one I tried 40 years ago and still have bruises. Ice skating.
Oh.
Yeah.
No.
I'm not good at that. Or roller skating.
I'm too old for that.
Failed at miserably at both. Getting coffee together. Isn't that what you do every day? I don't understand. I guess that's going to a coffee shop and like hanging out. That's
my husband made coffee this morning.
I know.
Does that count?
It's a city thing, I think, the whole coffee and spending an hour. Who has time for that if you're a horse person? You're getting your coffee in the drive-thru.
Yeah.
Plan a staycation. We do that. That is one we all do all the time. We stay at home and with our horses. So, yes.
Yeah, because we can't go anywhere because we have to feed things.
Yeah, so that one, we got one out of the list. Enjoy a fondue dinner. I think a lot of the fondue places have gone away. That's a trend that has started to go away. The melting pot and all of that.
I couldn't even I don't even think there's one in Oklahoma. Maybe I'm wrong. Somebody will tell me.
I can see why there's none in Oklahoma. I don't know that Oklahomans would get that.
No.
Tackle a home improvement project was legitimately on the list. It's like, That's what we do every other day. I want to do that on Valentine's Day.
This is the one day we should stop doing that. My husband's like, I've got to go paint the fence. I've got to build the rest of that fence line. I've got to get the automatic waterers fixed. Yeah, we got that check.
Well, they had a picture, I'm not kidding, on this article, on this particular one, of a man painting the wall with his wife wrapped around him from the back, giving him a hug. And I'm going, yeah, that's not how that goes.
That's not how that goes in real life either, horse or not.
Two more. How about ballet or opera? No,
what?
no way in hell I'm going to ballet or opera. Not happening.
No, my husband's not doing that. I would go to the opera. I don't think I would do ballet, but that's just me.
Yeah, I'm not doing either. And then the classic that you see in all the movies that's so romantic and everybody makes love immediately after is pottery class.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Pottery class? I was going to say walk on the beach.
No, they're all like doing pottery together and they reach around and they're all doing it together and make love instantly after, even though we know that the pottery turns out terrible and everybody's just mad at the end.
Well, and that makes the class a little awkward. Hey, go in the other room.
Later on in the show, we're going to talk about the 12 things your equestrian Valentine really wants. So,
do you want me to go through it or
no, let's
wait?
do that a little later in the show. We got to get the Daily Whinnies, which probably will sound funny too. Let's find out. Let's try the happy birthday.
Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
Literally now, if you're playing this at sped up, you don't understand anything that's happening in the show.
Is this the new normal for us?
Maybe it should be. Happy birthday to some terrific auditors, and two of these are fellow cruisers from a week ago. Lisa Dow. She was on the cruise. Happy birthday to you. Corinne, we talked about on Monday. Corinne Donahue, it's her birthday as well. And Olivia Mendenhall, happy birthday to all of you. We're glad you're part of our auditor family.
Let's hear this Winnie. It was so high pitched, it didn't even get out. It squeaked. I just wanted to update you guys. I'm so excited. Taco Tuesday went on a trail ride and he's been going around the arena. And I'm just so proud and pleased with how he's doing. Now, yesterday I went to get on him and I go to brush him and he flinched out of the way. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Did I move too fast? You know, you have to move real slow around him because he's been punched around a bit. So I guess I moved too fast. I was like, that's weird. So I get him tacked up and I get out to the arena. I climb up on the mounting block, which is hilarious because I don't even have to put my foot in the stirrup. I'm on the mounting block and just put my leg over, right? But I still have to put my hand on his neck. And so I put my hand on his mane and he just like ducks his head out of the way, but doesn't move his feet. And I was like, what is going on? And it occurred to me that the day before that, I saw Miles, my dear, sweet, angelic Andalusian, with Taco Tuesday in his mouth. Like, hey, but they were like, I thought they were playing where they do like bitey face, but he had him by the top of the neck and like shook him. And I looked after that and he left him alone after that. And they walked around. Taco went into the pond, like whatever they do, they were just doing. But he had this huge swelling on the top of his neck, poor baby. So
children are playing rough.
Yeah. So tomorrow, if it's not cleared up, veterinarian will be here at 9:30. So, just like to spend money on things.
God, they were playing rough.
Well, I looked because I heard squealing from inside my house and I was like, that's weird. And Miles just had him like from the top of the neck. And but then Taco bit him back and they were just kind of playing. I don't know whether Miles was being a big jerk or they were just playing and he played a little too rough. I don't know. I'm like, he's little.
Somebody's going to get hurt if you keep doing that.
I know. You keep your hands to yourself. I'll separate you two.
Don't cross the line. We used to have the line in the van. We had 4 kids and we had a van and we used to fight over who crossed the line. And,
Did you really?
Oh, yeah. I can't imagine what my parents went through with the 4 of us in the back of the van. Speaking of being rough, we have to address the Cesar Para situation. Several
What a
people,
segue.
several listeners have asked us why we have not talked about it. And, if you've listened to this show for any period of time, I think you know how we feel about this situation. It won't be a surprise to you. So we try to keep this show more about you and your horse and, our relationships with our horses. And we cover some news, but not a lot of news. We mostly cover the funny news.
Here's what they want to hear. Here's what they want to hear. Yes, Cesar Para should be hit by a bus.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. That's what we think.
You know that Jamie, for God's sake, she's a Monty Roberts instructor. There's no surprise how we feel about this. So there we addressed it. You all know how we feel. It's not what this show is about. You can find plenty of other sources, the Chronicle of the Horse, for instance, who will cover this in depth for you endlessly every day.
Yes, he should be hit by a bus.
There you go.
Enough said.
Yep, there we are. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Live EQ. One of our auditors asked the other day, what was that app that was talking about equestrian jobs? Well, that app was Live EQ, a free app for equestrians. It's breaking...
Yep.
It's
supposed to be EQ, Glenn.
Yeah,
like
well, I told her that I'm
equestrians.
saying Live EQ because when I say Live EQ, nobody will know how to spell it.
Okay, well, that works too. So it's actually pronounced Live EQ, but Glenn
No, I
likes to
refuse.
pronounce
I even
everything
told the lady
wrong.
when she was on, I said, you should say Live EQ. Otherwise, people are going to spell it EK or EC. Anyway,
ECH.
that's the marketer in me coming out. So it's a free app for equestrians, breaking down barriers and making the sport more accessible for everyone. The app connects riders with local opportunities such as riding lessons, horse leasing, and equestrian jobs. This app is the one that Jamie and I have been talking about for 14 years on this show that is needed, and they're the first ones to come close to really making this happen, and they're getting more and more listings all the time. It really is getting built out. Give it a try. It's free, people. So just download it and try it. You're going to find, maybe you'll find a farrier on there or somebody else that you need in your local area, and I know vets are getting harder to find, and more are going away. So
when Farm Boy's gone for the summer, I could find another person to come
you
help
could
me.
put an ad on there for Farm Boys and see what shows up.
Oh, that takes a whole different turn. I'm downloading that right now. And so are the rest of you. You know you are.
LiveEQ.com.
You heard it here first. Farm Boy's online.
Well, Alex is back with us. She is from mynewhorse.com. We had Alex on before talking about this new initiative that Equine Network and a bunch of others are putting on. And Alex, I got to tell you, I was on there this morning and the website's getting built out. This really is a resource for new horse owners that is very comprehensive now.
Well, that is the goal, Glenn. So,
Well, you've done your job well then.
thanks.
So,
No, it's been a lot of fun. We are constantly putting new content up there.
and I think, I've seen a lot of new videos and things. So tell us, since we talked last time, what's new and what you've learned.
Well, we're continuing to put up lots of new articles, and we have, starting in November, launched our biweekly e-newsletter. So I encourage anyone that just wants to keep up with the latest information to sign up for that on the homepage. And we are also going to start launching free webinars that people can go to the website and view and learn things on topics ranging from planning your horse's diet to how to make grooming easier, and that'll be rolling out in March.
Now, obviously, this website's designed for new horse people, but with the content you have on there, it really is for anybody.
Oh, yeah, for sure. A lot of my horse owning friends that have been doing this for 10, 15, 20 years use the website.
We've all had the situation in the past. I know Jamie has, and we have especially too, had the situation with new horse people, and they're always wondering about this or that, especially if they keep the horses at home and don't have anybody to guide them. So if you know somebody like that and you're listening right now, send them to mynewhorse.com. Save you answering all the questions that they're going to be asking.
Yeah.
That's why the website was designed. Now, what have you learned personally doing this? Have you picked up anything that you didn't know before?
Well, yeah, that's been one of the incredible things, the discoveries that I've made researching and editing content for this website is all the new info that I've come across. Even as a lifelong horse owner, I'm learning new things every day. I think that just goes to show that we never stop learning as horse people, no matter how long you've been doing that.
Was there an aha moment or two?
There have been several. I can list a couple things that I've learned that I didn't know before. We were looking at natural treats that you could feed your horse in addition to apples and carrots, and I realized that things you should not feed your horse include things in the nightshade family like tomatoes and potatoes and peppers. However, sweet potatoes are okay, and some horses really like them.
Actually, they're supposed to be pretty good for horses. They have a lot of vitamins that the horses need. Yeah.
Also, don't feed pitted fruits like peaches and plums and nectarines. Some parts of those fruits can be poisonous to horses. I did not know that.
Okay. What else?
Let's see. I was writing an article about how to apply fly spray properly, and I didn't realize that some manufacturers of fly sprays tell you to brush the hair against the direction of growth as you spray to get maximum contact. I tried doing this. It's super awkward.
Yeah, wouldn't it get all over us?
I was going to say that's impossible. The hair just flops right back down.
And then you're getting it all over your arm.
And try brushing against the grain with your non-dominant hand while spraying with your dominant hand. It's very awkward, but I guess it works.
I want to be as far away from the spray as possible myself.
Yeah, you get a mouthful of it or something.
Yeah. Okay, I'm rejecting that one. Don't do that one, people.
I've never even, all the years of horses, I've never tried that.
I wonder if you could spray it on and then do that and it would get underneath.
Maybe,
it just gets
I
on
don't
your
know.
brush.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Spray
the
it on the
fly's not
brush.
going to
There
touch
you go.
your
That's a
grooming
perfect
tools.
idea. I like that.
Yeah.
Or
grooming
we should
tools are
develop a brush that has the spray in it and it comes out as you're brushing.
God, trademark that right
God,
now.
I'm writing that down. Nobody steal that.
Too late.
We're here inventing things today.
Right.
And I do know that also, like us, I'm confirming this now because I got final confirmation that we're going to be doing shows from Equine Affair again like we did last year. Hopefully I won't be sick and I can actually spend some time at Equine Affair. But you're going to be there as well with us?
Yes, we're going to be there April 11th through 14th with a photo booth and giveaways and raffles. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Listeners, I know we did a meetup last year at Equine Affair, and we're going to try and do that again. We maybe had 15, 20 people there. So we'll put that together, and we'll let you know for all of our Ohio fans. We'll definitely get together one of the nights at Equine Affair for sure. Well, Alex, good work on this. Way to get the job done. It's mynewhorse.com. If you know anybody that's new into horses, they need to follow this website. It's easy enough for them to understand, but also it's smart enough that if you've been doing horses for a while, you're going to learn something too, just like Alex did.
Just like it's really difficult to brush your horse backwards and fly spray it. Like, who would do that?
All right. Thanks, Alex.
Thanks, Glenn.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, there you go. We learned something new on this show every single day.
And you invented something.
I did.
So
It's a
better get that working.
idea, actually. Well, State Line Tack is one of our sponsors today, and I got to tell you, they have a section right now appropriate for Valentine's Day. You can find warm, dry, and stylish outerwear. There's a whole, let me see how many pages there are. Oh my gosh, there's a lot. There's 4 entire pages of stylish outerwear. And you know what? I see these, and I don't always see a lot of this at the barns I'm hanging out. People wearing this stylish outerwear. Where you see this mostly is when they're going to horse shows. Because there's some really nice stuff in here that I'd be afraid to get it dirty.
Oh my God, there's the cutest little plaid vest, and they have one that matches your dog. Okay, honey, I want this.
How about this Charlotte Desjardins Arrête vest, the pink one? I really want to see you in that. I do.
I am in love. As long as there's a matching one for Homer, I'm good.
Okay, that would be funny. It's bright pink. I mean, bright pink. It's
an Equa Safety one. Okay, that's cool.
They have,
So-
of course, carrots. They have a lot of carrots in here because carrots does make some stylish stuff. But they also have Ariat, and some of these are on sale right now. And I'm sure we're coming up to the end of the season for getting your winter stuff. And the Northeast just had a huge snowstorm, so you're all
Okay, my
cold
new
up there.
mission. My new mission in life is to have a matching outfit with Homer. Okay.
Hey, here's
I'm
a
in.
Shires Lady Hackney rain jacket. It's a Hackney jacket. I like it.
I don't think that's what
It's
you
not gonna
think.
fit
I don't think that
Scooter.
means what you think that means.
It won't fit Scooter, probably. It's peach colored, too. It used to be in the old days when Jamie and I were first starting up in the horse world, everything was boring colors. And now, thanks to carrots, it's certainly gotten livened up in the fashion wear.
Yeah, Ariat's picked up on that too. Ariat
Yeah.
does some pretty cool colored stuff.
Shires, who was only ever known for blankets, has a lot of winter wear now, too.
Look at us online shopping while we're doing the podcast. Okay.
All right, statelinetack.com.
This horse health report is brought to you by Daily Dose Equine non-GMO core nutrition for horses and ponies of all ages. I would like to welcome Dr. Kristi Gran back to the show to talk about, what we all deal with, emergencies. Hi, Dr. Gran.
Hey, how are you?
Great. Now, I like to get started by knowing where in the world you are. So tell everybody where in the country you are.
So I'm at Collie and Coons Equine Hospital, which is in northeastern Indiana, just west of Fort Wayne.
Oh, good Lord, it's cold there. It is just
silly.
that is brutal. I think Fort Wayne. I had a college roommate from there, and she just couldn't believe the rest of the world wasn't like Fort Wayne and weather.
Yeah, the wind is what gets you.
Yes, y'all are some tough women up there. That's awesome. All right, Dr. Grand, we are going to talk a little bit about emergencies today. And I guess my first question is what are some of the, I'm going to use today's segment to feel normal and normalize my behavior with emergencies. So what are some
Good
of the
luck
most
with that, Dr. Green.
good times. What are some of the most common emergency calls you guys get?
So I would say number one is definitely colic, a variety. So just the little bit of a bellyache all the way to your twists and surgical situations. And honestly, probably lacerations would be the next. Horses do a pretty good job of finding ways to hurt themselves. So that's probably, I would say those are the top two. But then there's a whole bunch of others mixed in. This time of year, we see a fair number of foals, sick foals, fevers, that kind of thing.
I'm making note. I've had 2 lacerations and 1 colic this year, or in the last couple months.
Oh, wow.
So.
And it's only February.
I know. Well, I had one in December.
Oh, okay.
She's an overachiever, Kristi.
I am.
That one doesn't count.
And the lacerations, what's so frustrating, and maybe you can shed light on this, the horses never tell you what they cut themselves on. They just never say.
No, and it's always the owner's question always is, I can't find where they cut themselves. And honestly, you never do. And you would think for what the laceration looks like that there would be a puddle of blood or skin on the fence or whatever, but we never figure it out for the most part.
Yeah, you have to be like an FBI forensic analyst to be able to figure it out.
Yep.
So lacerations, colics, foals. Now, we just talked about this a little bit, but what are some of for lacerations? It seems like you can't prevent it. That's just the journey that they're on is to kill themselves. But what are some preventable measures people can take to try to keep these away?
So honestly, the biggest thing, I don't know that there's really a good way to keep anything away. Like you said, horses are really good at finding ways to hurt themselves. We always say homicide or suicide. Those are the only things that they think of. But the big thing is to make sure you're looking at your horses every day, picking their feet every day, trying to stay as consistent as possible with feeding routines. They don't have to be exactly at 5 o'clock every single day, but kind of the same general routines. Know what's normal for your horse. So if your horse usually runs in from the field and today he's just kind of poking in, that might be, an indicator to look at. So I don't know that there truly is a way to keep emergencies away. the better option is to be prepared for an emergency and catch them early. Those are the two things I'd say.
Gotcha. Watch your horses, take a look at them, notice anything different. And then as far as when an emergency does arise, before we call the veterinarian, like, so many people are like, I gave him Banamine, but then that's kind of masking symptoms for you when you do get called out. Like, what are some of the things that we can have on hand what would you like us to do before you get there?
So talk to your veterinarian first, because sometimes they will have you give Banamine ahead of time. And there are situations in which Banamine is helpful. So if it's a mild colic and we're trying to decide, who do we go to first? If we've got multiple emergencies backed up, we might ask you to give Banamine. So that is definitely a good one to have on hand. And make sure you know how much to administer and how to administer it as well. And then I would say basic first aid stuff. So gauze, leg wraps, some vet wrap, anything that you can use to cover a wound, stop bleeding, and anything of that nature. And then we all get up in, what do we clean wounds with? But saline, just sterile saline is the best. So what I'll tell people to throw in their emergency kit is a bottle of contact lens solution, because it has that nice pointy tip on it. And so throwing that in there will help you kind of clean a wound before you cover it while we're waiting for the vet, is a really good thing. So, and then
I've never heard that. That's a brilliant thing to have in there.
Yeah.
And because it does have the little tip that you can just squirt it right in. Genius.
Yep, it makes it easy. Yeah. And then a thermometer is also absolutely for sure in your emergency kit. So we'll want to know that too. Even before you call the vet, knowing if they have a fever or not is helpful. Some people have stethoscopes. If you know how to use one, you're not going to hurt a horse if you don't know how to use one. But if you don't, know how to find a heart rate, listen to gut sounds, that kind of thing. Because all that information is helpful on the phone with us when we're, again, trying to decide usually what order to see our emergencies in, triage just like an ER at the human hospital. So having all of that information is definitely helpful.
Yeah, I think so. So this last time I was out of town, of course, one of my horses decided to colic at that time. And, as much as I have been around horses and my whole life, I had to, of course it was like a Sunday night and the horses, we need to give the horse Banamine, and I'm out of town and I can give an IV shot, but obviously you don't give Banamine intramuscular. So I was trying to tell the farm sitter, okay, what do I do? And I was like, I've got a tube of the oral paste Banamine. And so she goes and gets it out and it's empty. So
of course.
I was in a pickle. I didn't know what to do. And I learned at that moment, maybe this is I'm an idiot for not knowing this, but you can actually draw up the Banamine out of the bottle and give that orally as well.
Yep. Yeah, you absolutely can. And that's usually what I recommend to people, because even though the label says you don't want to give it in the muscle. I think it's every veterinarian's vendetta against the drug companies to relabel that, but they're never going to. So
I don't understand.
Yeah, in the vein or in the muscle. Or in the vein, in the vein or in the mouth, not in the muscle.
In the vein or the mouth. Gotcha. Yeah, I just didn't know it would have the same effect, and it worked great. So I was happy. So as far as seasonal stuff, we're in February, and what are some of the seasonal, probably colic from dehydration. What are some of the things you guys see seasonally right now?
So right now we have had several huge weather changes. So it was 20 degrees and then it was 10 degrees and then it was 60 and now it's 30 again. So we're seeing a fair number of impaction colics where horses either are choosing not to drink water or their water buckets are frozen or something like that. So that's probably a big one. And then we are really starting to get into the thick of foaling. So we're seeing a good number of sick foals or foals that just aren't doing as well as they should be. late term mares that are looking a little off, that kind of thing.
Gotcha. All right. Well, where can people go to learn more about you and your clinic?
You can go to our website at ckequinehospital.com. We actually have a really cool website coming up soon. So if you stick with it for maybe a month or so, someone's redoing it for us. So it should look a lot better than it does now. But,
Oh,
but yeah, there's a lot of stuff on there for you.
Well, definitely let us know when that happens and we'll send everybody to it. But Dr. Gran, thank you so much for coming on and giving us information that regular horse people can understand and how we can help our horses in emergencies and help you guys do your job as well. So thanks, Dr. Gran. Have a great day and stay warm.
Yeah, you too. Thanks.
Daily Dose Equine Horse Feeds has 4 different formulas that we're going to chat about very briefly today. First one on the list balances the needs of horses who need calories, but they also need a little bit of focus. What's that one called?
Called Mass No Sass.
They also have a formula that's going to balance the needs of a horse that needs a lot of energy because he is a high performance competitor. What's that one?
That one is called Freestyle Performance or Trail Mix.
Dun, 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 because yes, trail horses can be high performance animals. And for senior horses or horses who have dental issues,
That one's called Senior.
tough to remember. And for those who want a top quality non-GMO feed, which is what all of Daily Dose Equine's feeds are, but they also have a really serious budget that they need to stick to. What do you have for them?
We call that product Sweet and Safe.
Okay, Glenn, well, you gave us all a list of garbage things that horse chicks would never really want, but I found a list on horsenation.com and it's called 12 Valentine's Gift Your Equestrian Actually Wants. Now, let me preface this by saying I am not a fan of this day. I think high school ruined this day for me because there was so many people walking around with flowers and bears and all this, and I would just walk around. So don't feel sorry for me. It's fine. I mean, we all grew.
Worked out in the end. You ended up with a hot fighter pilot.
I know it worked out in the end. So don't feel too sorry for me. But that being said, it has taken years of training to make my husband understand that I don't want anything. Don't bring me Valentine's Day pink flowers that I don't have to clean up off my floor in 3 days. Just Valentine's Day is not a thing for me. So
does he do anything anymore? Or has he just learned not to acknowledge the day?
I mean, so he woke up and said, Happy Valentine's Day. And I did get my kid, like I got Lucas, like a stuffed basset hound, looks like Homer. So I got him a stuffy. So I let my kid enjoy it. But my husband, who has, I mean, every time he's like, are you sure that you don't want?
We do get in trouble both ways. Let's be honest.
I'm like, no. Let me just tell you straight up, don't do anything. I'm like, you know what? You can celebrate my birthday and Mother's Day, because Mother's Day was the hardest thing I've ever done. So I should deserve a reward on that day. And then my birthday, I'm just stave off the depression of getting older. And I'll talk to you guys all about that in the post show and how I've changed my outlook on life.
For Jennifer, I got her card and I put a picture of our new house in it and I drew a little bow on it.
Oh, see, you're like, I don't have any money.
Right, exactly.
I don't have any money. This is what we're doing.
This is what we're doing.
I love it. I love it. Well, apparently last night he was like, I did kind of get something that I think you will want. So I couldn't even get him to not do anything. Like, it's so hard. Hay? Well, that is the number one on the list, Glenn, for Horse Nation's list of things equestrians actually want, which is good quality 3-string bales of alfalfa.
All weighing about 100 pounds each. And they want you to unload them, too.
And I would like to add to that, you unloading them.
Exactly.
Number 2, pay our entry fees for a horse show. If you are into horse shows, it'd be nice. Yeah, exactly. Farrier bill. I haven't got my Venmo from my farrier from 2 days ago. So yeah, you can pay that one. There you go. I do love Valentine's Day, honey. Here's the bill.
Yeah, you need to change your tune, Jamie.
Yeah. Pay our vet bill. Also got that in the mail
nobody's
today.
agreeing to pay your vet bill. Not even your husband.
You make it sound like I'm some terrible horse person. I just have a lot of horses that try to kill themselves all the time.
We all know you have large vet bills.
A new truck. Good God. If you're getting a new truck for that's what's on this list.
That's $90,000.
Yeah. Good God. That and the new trailer they have listed too. So
Are you kidding me? Who wrote that list?
Horse Nation did. Like, let's see.
Was that Deanne that did it?
I'm looking right now because if it is, I'm going to send her a message. Yeah, Deanne wrote this.
Deanne's wishful thinking right there.
Hello, this is called delusional Valentine's Day gifts. Oh, an arena with good footing.
Okay, wait a minute. Let us know if you ever did get a truck or a trailer on your Valentine's Day gift. Let
For
us know. We wanna know.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
You know what? Yesterday it rained so much here, my round pen just becomes unusable for like 3 days, and I've got little trenches and everything. And I just want to cover over it. I mean, I don't ask much. Number 8 is precious metals, and they're saying precious metals, and they've got pictures of bits hanging up. Those are precious to us.
Well, instead of an indoor, you could do what Monty did and just get that round roof put over your round pen.
Yeah, I got quotes on
That'd
those.
only be about $50,000.
Oh, those round roofs are actually more expensive than a covered arena because of the engineering.
Oh, there you go.
It's
and
insane.
you live in a wind zone, so it's got to be engineered for high winds. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, no, it's insane. Like, I just wanted to like a pavilion roof over it. I was like, can I just get a pavilion roof? They're like, no, because you have to be rated for winds here and it'll just lift it
so
up.
you can't just get a carport and have them plunk it on top.
No, turns out you can't do that, Glenn. I can't get like a canvas tent over the top of it.
Oh, I'm sure in Oklahoma, there's people that have done that. I'm sure.
I'm sure there hasn't. It did not last very long. Number 10 here, it's funny we're talking about this, is mud control. Oh, Deanne, I'm going to write her a strongly worded letter because what does she use? And there's like a GIF underneath it, and it's Atreyu trying to pull Artax out of the mud. Come on, Artax, please. Please. God. Okay, and the next one, actually, this happened to me one year because it shipped in at the right time. Semen. Horse semen.
Just going to clarify that.
In a box. And number 12.
Guys are always happy to give that one.
Horse
you set it up.
Oh, gross. And booze. That's it. We're gonna.
Booze?
I can't even.
Booze was on the list.
Yeah, I can't.
Does she say what kind of booze, or does it have to be
Well,
expensive
she's got
booze,
a
or can it be
picture
a
of
box of wine?
She's got a picture of a bottle of Woodford Reserve up here. So,
oh yeah, that's probably a good medium $100 bottle.
Yeah, it's expensive. But I'll just take number 12, which was horses, and that's why I bought a pony, and we'll talk about that in the post show. My new outlook on life. All right, there you go. Those are your things. Give me some weird news.
I got to say before we go on to weird news, the auditor, you know who you are, who sent me the bottle of maple whiskey.
Uh-oh.
We tried that at the pizza party the night before we left, and that combined with the kinky pony that I had a lot of, let me tell you, it really worked. That was.
Are you damaged goods?
It really did taste sweet. Like you could drink it straight because it was smooth, but that's a problem too. It's like 90 proof. So yeah.
I tried that. I'm like, this is delicious. Oh, it was Fireball. Somebody was handing out shots at Fireball, and I tasted it. I'm like, oh my God, this is so good. I'll have another one. And he was like, you know what's so good about Fireball? And I was like, what? And he goes, tastes the same way coming back up as it did going down.
This show's going downhill. Let's go to weird news.
Time to learn why some days you're embarrassed to be part of the human race.
There you go.
In Jamie's Weird News.
Why is everything so fast? It's kind of freaking me out.
I'll try and get that fixed for the next show here, people.
Oh, please do. But it's pretty funny today.
Ooh, you know, the post show bumper, that's going to sound really funny.
Oh, I can't wait. So weird news is the time of week we let you guys know what's going on that's weird in the world, and these things actually happened and you found them. So if you're ever reading the news and you're like, that story is super weird, email it to me, jamie@horseradionetwork.com, with weird news in the subject line so I can categorize it properly. Now this week we did have submissions, and I don't tell you who sent what, so your privacy is safe where you search for your news is safe. Rachel, Tanya, Thomas, Julie, Danielle, Laureen, Debbie, Amy, Carrie, Julie, another Julie, Allie, and Andrea. Thank you guys all. Yeah, I have to filter through because Glenn will only let me do how many stories, Glenn?
4 a week.
for a week. So, but fortunately, some of you send me the
We
same
could
ones.
do an entire podcast on this. So
I know it's true. I'm sure there are podcasts about it,
I'm
but
sure.
you know what? They're stealing from me. All right. First story. I can't figure out where this is. Oh, it's in Charlotte, North Carolina. And this is kind of, no, I'm sorry. The name of the animal is Charlotte, and it's in Hendersonville, North Carolina. There's an aquarium that has a stingray in it that's pregnant. So what? That's not super weird. They notice her belly getting. They apparently look at the belly of a stingray and noticed it was
think
looking
they get fat
swollen.
like people? Have a little belly sticking out the bottom?
They thought maybe she had a tumor because she's the only stingray in there. And so they were like, she must have a tumor. And so they ultrasounded her. They ultrasounded a stingray to see if it was a tumor. And it's not a tumor, Glenn. It's pregnant. This stingray is pregnant, and she's the only stingray in the container. However,
they're not sure how she got pregnant?
Oh, she's in with 2 sharks, Glenn.
Oh.
2 sharks are in her
crossbreeding
tank.
now?
I'm like, this is going to take over the world and murder us all. A shark stingray. We're all going to die. They do say that, potentially some sort of like thing happened where the embryo split and she is pregnant of herself. I don't know. There's a lot of science involved, but pretty much they think she's due in like 2 weeks. So I will have an update for you on whether they were
what the creepy baby
shark
looks like.
stingray babies. Good Lord. Terrifying. It was weird. So I thought I'd tell you about it.
Oh, that's definitely weird. That qualifies.
That's weird. We're going to go to Williamsport.
This whole episode's weird.
This whole episode is weird. Williamsport, Pennsylvania. There's a woman who has determined that her neighbor is an informant and is working with the FBI. Now, her name is Deborah Reed, and she called 911 on February 6th and complained that her neighbor stole her cat. She's working with the FBI, and they have come into my house and stolen my cat. She is on the phone with the police, freaking out. She's saying, if she doesn't get arrested, she's going to be a deadbeat. Like, she's making like life threats on her neighbor, who apparently works for the FBI and is an informant on her, informing on her. So the officers went to the house. And they're like, knock on the door. She answers the door, and she's like, my neighbor is an informant and is here to steal my cat, and she stole it, and she wants to have me arrested, and she's terrible. And the police are like, okay, ma'am. And they come on in, and they're like, meow, meow.
The cat's in the house.
Cat was locked in the closet. They did arrest her. Because of aggravated assault, terroristic threats, false reports, disorderly conduct, and communications with 911.
Was that in Florida?
No. This was actually in Pennsylvania.
Oh,
so
okay.
Good news is the cat is safe and sound.
Yeah, I hope they gave it to the neighbor, actually. So he has a better chance.
Cat's like, why am I stuck in this closet? Oh, yeah, that sounds fast. Now this just gets weird. So when I was coming back from Mexico, the last time they have, they do it at regular airports too. They have the drug sniffing dogs, and the dogs just, you just walk through and the dog walks through kind of smelling after you. Well, this is the Customs and Border Protection. And there was a passenger returning from a visit to the Democratic Republic of Congo. What could possibly go wrong? The person walks through, and the dog walks back and forth, and starts alerting everybody that there is something going on in this person's suitcase. And the traveler is like, oh, no, it's just dried fish. I have dried fish in my luggage. It's just dried fish. Everything. Don't worry about it. It's just dried fish. They're in Boston right now. Dried fish. Okay, well, we're going to have to open up your bag. And the dog is freaking out, and if it's dried fish, you probably can't even really bring that either. So they've
That's worse than the drugs.
no, this one's worse. Because they're like, you're not allowed to bring meat into the United States. So what happens when they open up the suitcase? They found the dehydrated bodies fully intact of 4 monkeys. 4 dead dehydrated monkeys. And he was like, I was going to eat those. He was going to
eat them?
That's what they said. Now, here's the thing. No charges were filed. All the luggage was seized, and 9 pounds of dead, dried monkeys, bushmeat, they call it, was marked for destruction. So, you know what? If something's called bushmeat, don't eat it. Just don't eat it. They have a picture. There's like skeletons. Oh,
This is a weird
I was going to eat it. It's why it's weird news, Glenn.
Well, that's weird. I actually wish I could have played that story, you telling it, and fast forward to myself, to be honest.
Well, don't worry, Glenn. We'll keep you entertained with this one, because where are we going to go this time, Glenn? Where?
Florida.
Yeah, we're going to go to Florida. Do you know where Volusia County is?
Yeah. No, where Volusia County is. Down along the coast. Yep, down
okay.
where all the stuff happens.
Well, see, what happened was the police were called because there was this guy who was like driving his truck on the beach, but he didn't. The beach is closed. It's early in the morning, and you're doing erratic things. You're probably on drugs. By the way, there is a body cam footage of this event happening.
This makes sense because Volusia County is Daytona Beach.
Oh, it's a party in Daytona all the time, So there's a guy who, to drive onto the beach, they're like those arm things that go down. Well, he just decided to go around it and just took his truck onto the beach. And in the video, the truck can be seen driving up and down the beach in the water, with the waves slamming the sides of the vehicle, sloshing over the roof. He drives down. He does one, turns back around, drives all the way up again. And the police are like, hey, can't do that. Get over here. He accessed the area without paying the proper tolls. And it also said, do not enter. So the police had
probably high
stopped
tide
him.
is what I would guess.
Well, in the body cam footage, he's exactly who you would think would be driving his truck on the beach in Daytona. Just picture that guy. And he's like, they're like, what were you doing? And he's like, it's not my fault that truck don't surf. One of the deputies
of the day.
turns to the guy with the body camera and says, fantastic. That'll make the Facebook page today. And yes, it has. It made national news because
Cops
that truck
live for this stuff. This is what they live for.
They do. It's fantastic. By the way, he was.
Did they arrest him for
also-
illegal surfing?
No, he didn't pay the access fee. He went around, and also turns out he had drugs. So they got him for that too.
Drugs are bad, kids. Drugs are bad.
Drugs are bad.
They're also bad for your truck, apparently.
Yeah. And they're just looking. The police are looking at the truck like, oh God, oh. What a man. My truck don't surf. Ain't my fault.
That's the best line of the day. And a Florida man had it. Big surprise. Oh, by the way, there's a bunch of weird news podcasts. Do you want to hear some of the names?
Yeah.
The Bizarre Files, Weekly Weird News, Weird AF News, which is my favorite title so far, The Week in Weird News, What a Weird Week, and Odd and Offbeat News. There's
I promise you, I don't listen to. I wonder how long, because I've been doing weird news for 4 years. So maybe they got their idea from me. Who knows?
Maybe
I don't know. It's just there's so much weird news out there. It makes sense. You could do 6 podcasts.
I'm sure
about
there's
it.
ones dedicated to just Florida weird news. I'm sure that would keep them busy for a daily show.
Well, I'm going to start sourcing some stories from these podcasts. So send me the list.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. If you want to send in your weird news for next week, where do they do it?
Jamie at Horse Radio Network with the weird news in the subject line. And again, those of you who send me really dirty stories, you clearly understand I can't read them on the podcast, but also clearly understand that I love reading them.
And it's spelled Jamie.
Yes.
So we have a Jamie kind of spelled the other way. So it's Jamie. And get them in today so that yours could be read next week. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. We're sorry it was so weird. It was really a weird day. But hang on to auditors because there's more weirdness to come. And
let's hear this sped up closing
let's
music.
Hear this. Tomorrow on the show, we have the Equine Affair episode. And then we'll be back on Friday. Get your ads into Jennifer at horseradionetwork.com for really bad ads.
Spay Neuter Guild. See how I did that really fast?
I like it better fast, actually, this one. Sounds like we're on speed, ready to get out of the show. All right, let's